Hey guys, good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. How's it going, Kyla? How's it going, Redhead? Blip, thank you for the host. DJC, Lee Colleen. Love your butts. Hope you're all doing good. Today... Oh shoot, I was gonna grab my sketchbook. Hold on, 1 second. There we go. Hey, Vivestus. How did your coding go? I don't want to talk about it. So today I thought we would work on designing a new character for my game. Also just have fun, like, drawing. Just do, like, fun, chill drawing stream. Very little to no pressure. I had a page of designs I really liked I wanted to copy from. That's why I wanted to grab my sketchbook. But yeah, I've got that. Grab your pens, grab your pencils, let's get going! Hey everyone, how's it going? Just hire someone. I don't know. It's a passion project. It's not really something I'm gonna make money off of. But yeah, I thought we'd just do some drawing, hang out. I think the plan for right now is just spend like, let's just spend like 20 minutes just like drawing with no objective, yeah? Let's just play. Let's have some kind of fun, huh? What are you guys all up to? These are some doodles I did last night, just playing around. Thought we'd do some more. This is my big doodle page. This is my doodle page. I'm really liking this this pencil. This is my new favorite pencil. It's really fun to draw with. So typically when I do like cartoon characters, I'll do like, you've probably seen the shape, just like a bean with a sphere on top. Let's make a hobo. Let's make a hobo Baggins. I really like characters with arms that are too long. They can't support their own arms. See, I wish Draw Pile you could have brushes like this. It would make it so much more fun. As far as I know, I don't think you can have textured brushes in Draw Pile. Let me know how the audio's sounding. Let me know if the music's too loud or anything. Making chicken and rice? That sounds good. Planned out the whole day for troubleshooting, but I'm already done, so now I'm not sure what to do. That's a good thing, right? I really like Psychic Pebbles names like Bimblor and Squimblow and Quimbleys. Brr. You gotta pay the troll toll. Shit, bussin'. You're right. And give him some overalls. When you write, you write. Been having a lot of trouble doing laying down characters. That's kind of why I started studying the back. My back! Let's give it another shot. Xbox just bought Activision? What does that mean? What does that mean for gamers? Can't say I can think of any Activision games I play. Hey, morning, you sack of trash. How's it going, Chibi? We're just doing some drawing for fun. Imagine that, drawing being fun. Thanks for the attempt, Lee. An attempt was made. What you up to, Chib? You got anything going on right now?
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!
First day of classes, so I'm a little nervous right now, but that's not till 12, so I have time. That's good. I'm glad you have time to just chill, have breakfast. I was gonna grab one of my breakfast bars and I completely forgot. Whoops. But yeah, I'm sure classes will go great, Chib. I'm sure you got nothing to worry about. Is Designer the, is that the Adobe Illustrator one, Blip? What if you walk into class and your pants fall down? Everyone sees undies. Oh no. Not my beautiful underwear. That was for me. That was for private. Not sure I'm digging this music. I'm gonna switch it up a little. Why is my recommendations all Christmas music? Let's see, there's moods. We could try moods. Some moods. What about quirky? Don't really want laid back. Here we go. This is more like it. My room is filthy. I should really clean it up at some point. Hey Candy Cat, how's it going? I'm the lazy god. Hey, morning, Toxic Ramen. How's it going? It's so hard to just sit and doodle with no objective for 20 minutes. It's harder than I thought it would be. Hey Nibibble, I'm going alright. Still kind of waking up here. How you doing? Toxic Ramen, doing okay. Had to wake up at 7 because my job had this thing where I needed to submit the time off, but had to do it on the work computer. Oh, that's annoying. I hope you get the days off you requested. That sounds really annoying. It's like, why can't you do that stuff on your phone in your bed?
This piece is what all true lawyers strive for.
Thank you for the bits, DJC. I appreciate it. Again, this music's a little bit sleepy. Maybe we'll just go with the old tried and true. Nice. I almost never take my birthday off. It's nice that you can get it off and have a fun little celebration. Hope you're able to do something relaxing, something fun, something personal. This is more like it. Going to a comic convention? That's cool. And hey, Pootis, how's it going? Doing alright here. Excuse me. Nice, Kyla. That sounds awesome. Give him a long ear. I like this guy. I think everybody's birthday should be a holiday. Also, hey, Jadswee, how's it going? We're not doing a drop pile today, and this is me just goofing off, having fun. Those are on Friday. Shit, bussin'. Gamer day tomorrow? Supposedly. I really don't want to play games. I'd rather make stuff. Strawberry ice cream. Where else do I have space? I guess over here. Draw her beautiful take-up spaceman. He is my favorite character. There we go. We did 20 minutes. Now let's get on to something productive. Some pretty fun doodles, though. Let's see. Let's open. Let's get back to work on our logo. Let me see. Let me open up my PureRef thing that shows my process that I follow, so I don't get lost in the weeds. Load style guide. There we go. Alright, so we just did SSS, now we're on to AO. Ayo! Ayo, what's happening? Maybe we could color lines too. Maybe that would be worth doing. I think we were kind of on that step. Grab this one. Red looks fine here. We want to change it for the hair though. I really don't like my computer setup. This big Cintiq is like so in the way. I don't have any room for like a keyboard or anything on my desk. I miss my old tiny one. Hey, boy for life. Ah, my back! 50% off Hobby Lobby, hell yeah. Take advantage, that's awesome. I love stores like that. I feel like, alright Kyla, no worries. And hey, sweet, hello. I feel like Michael's always has like 50% off sales and coupons and stuff. Don't forget to look online and look up like Hobby Lobby coupons for even more like money off. And they always have stuff like that. Gonna go to Joann's and pick up some markers that you ordered? Nice. Can you say what kind? Was it a Sequit? Bala. There's her hair. I need a different color for her shirt. Maybe a lighter blue color. Lighter, more saturated blue. Mayhaps. This could be a fun way to learn Spine. I've been debating on using Spine for my game to animate like all the scenes and stuff. I like how you can make things look 3D. It looks so cool. And seems a bit easier than live 2D. And you can also get a permanent license, which is cool. Live 2D you have to pay a subscription for. Pepe, please. You like this music? Yeah, I've never really used it. I've had the trial installed on this computer forever, but I have yet to open it up and like actually use it. It might save time, but it's also like, you gotta consider the time to learn the thing also. It's like, I already know Toon Boom. And Toon Boom can do a lot of that same similar kind of stuff. Truly. At least it's not quote music. Although I do miss my meme playlist.
This guy looks kind of cool.
Hey, Turbo. How's it going, Tyrese? It's
Looks fucking epic.
It's music to my ears. Michael's used to do weekly 40% off coupons, but they stopped doing that. Oh, that's too bad. I remember always downloading their coupons. It was so fun. It's so fun to save money. Treesy, Torsy. By the way, I'm sure everyone follows everyone here, but do some heckin' shoutouts. What do you say? What do you say? Follow all these beautiful, wonderful people. Did I miss anyone? Do people that don't stream chibi? Thank you, Lee. I mean, besides Lee will stream at some point. It's only a matter of time. Spamming not allowed. Shout out Tursi. That's true, you do stream every Wednesday. God damn it. I'm an idiot. But they're not here. The Zoom chat's not here, so I can't push my fancy little button to shout them out. I'll do it manually. Because I love you. Do this, but on YouTube. Do that, but on YouTube. You did something in Picardo if you have that open. Like, you're streaming on Picardo right now? The title of your channel. There looks like there's nothing here. Oh, I'm streaming on Picardo. Thank you, Tursi. I actually meant to turn that off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me turn that off. Yeah, I don't check the chat on Picardo. I did not mean to stream on there. Let me turn that guy off. Boop. There we go. Hopefully that worked. Yeah, I'm heading to the Bun Butts chat right now. What? Oh my god, Tursi, thank you. I didn't even know you could do that. Thank you.
Where there's a whip,
There's a way. Hey, Mush.
Where there's a whip, there's a way.
What is it? Look at that. 3 monitors. That looks awesome. Dude, a true fan. Tursi has all 3 of my streams open. Feel intimidated by the complex features in Toon Boom Harmony. I'm used to animating frame by frame in Flash. If you ever want help, Toxic Ramen, I'm easy to get a hold of. Either message me on Discord or Twitter. Happy to help. Toon Boom's so easy to animate frame by frame. If all you're doing is frame by frame animation, there's no problem. Thank you for the tip, Tursi. I appreciate it. Fuck the motivation goal. Money is not motivation here. Refer only to this layer. Let's grab the blues here. How you doing, Mush? How's it going? Let's see, how do you turn off the marching ants? Delete outside selection, shrink selection. Isn't it a hotkey like H or something? No. Let me look it up real quick. My job money's the only motivation. Hey, sleepy. Get some resty mushy. Always appreciate you stopping by. Yeah. Clip, studio, hide selection. I don't know if this is what I'm looking for. click on view selection border or press Control H. Oh. I must have changed the hotkey because Control H isn't working. View selection border. Yeah, let's make that a hotkey, yeah. Let's see. That's under shortcut settings. When you go to view, find selection border, edit shortcut. Okay, Control H. There we go. So now we can hide selection, even though it's still selected. And then when we change the color, let's make it a bit darker. Maybe not that dark. Maybe a little bit more towards the blue, less towards cyan. Actually, towards cyan looks kind of cool. Something like that. Just not crazy about her colors still. Is whip not a command anymore? Do we not have that as a command? Yeah, I wasn't trying to deselect, I was just trying to hide the marching ants. So it looks like you can do it under view and then selection border, and then you can assign a shortcut to it. So before, after, before, after. It's not that different, honestly. Maybe we should color in her eyelashes, see how that looks. Where there's a schwip, there's a schway. Where there's a schwim, there's a schwam. Do we like that? I don't know. Kind of yes, kind of no. Let's do it to both and see how it looks after. There's a button to hide it on top of clip. Oh. Oh, there it is. I see it. Thank you. I do love my shortcut keys though, so I'm glad I have a short hotcut for it now. Yeah, black might be a little too dark. Maybe making it like a different color would help. Maybe like a dark blue or something. Yeah, I always heard them called marching ants. That's how I've heard that selection thing described. Just kind of cute and funny. I mean, it's more visible from farther away, but don't think I like it. I think what we can do is fill it in with this red, but make it a bit darker. So if we like did that, so it's like a dark, kind of a dark red, it looks a little bit better. Something like that. Just slightly darker than the rest of it. That looks cool to me. I dig it. What's our next step in the process? Ambient occlusion shadows? Let's work from the bottom up, yeah? Bum, 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 bum. So let's use like a dark purple for ambient occlusion shadows. We'll work from the bottom up. So ambient occlusion shadows are not based on any light direction or anything like that. They're just where light's not gonna hit things. Let's see, how are we gonna do this? I guess we want to group all this stuff together. Group that. Call that group Bunny. Or we could call it color, since that's all our fills. And then we can turn this into clipping masks. There we go. That should make things easier. Let's also make sure to set it to multiply. I'm also making sure to use lots of lasso tool, just so I don't affect any of my other layers. Next time you're in the supermarket and you hear the beep, think of all the fun you could have on Supermarket Sweep. Let's see, then we got the front of our shirt here. Good timing. Let's see. So let's do a small shadow at the bottom of her shirt. Like so. Where there's a smell, there's a sway. Alright, Chibi, we'll see you in your dreams. We love you. Thanks as always for stopping by. Always appreciate you. See, I guess if we're doing down here, I should get rid of this just so I don't overlap it. Something like that. This song's funny. Oh shit.
World Guy just resubscribed for 53 months. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Listen, it's my big dream to close down the Jesse J. Jones stream by collecting
Shut
a million butts. If you would be so kind to contribute a mere 2,000 butts, we might reach this goal someday. Dreams do come true.
We're okay. Fucking stop. Thank you for being subscribed for 50 goddamn months. That's fucking crazy. Oh, my close-up thing's not working. Why? I want to talk in real close. Why? I'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure why that's not working. World Guy, thank you for being subscribed. 53 months is fucking crazy. I know you just got here and you want people to submit their stupid channel points to turn off the stream, but they shouldn't. They should save it for a rainy day. Anyways, we'll be right back after these short messages. Today's stream is brought to you by Vinder Forehead Laven cereal. Oh boy, Mom. I sure do love Vinder Forehead Laven brand cereal. It's my favorite way to start my clumping day. Oh, Billy, Vinder Forehead Laven cereal has got what kids crave. It's got bicycles and windmills and tulips and cheese flavor. Oh, I do love a good cheese flavor while riding my bicycle down the tulip windmill lane. Oh, Billy, you sure said it. Nothing like Vinder Forehead Laven brand cereal to start a good Dutch day off. That's what the Dutch eat every day. That what makes them grow up so big and strong. Wow, you sure said it, Billy. Nothing like Vinder Forehead Laven brand cereal. Vinder Forehead Laven brand cereal. It's got what kids crave. Very typical. Typical Dutch morning. How's it going, World? Hope your day's going well. Oh, fuck. I mean, thank you.
Vivastos just resubscribed for 12 months. Thank you.
A whole year! Oh my god, Vivastus. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's That's a crazy amount of support. Thank you, Vivastus. Y'all enjoy your butts, enjoy your secret Discord room, enjoy the ad-free experience. We'll be right back after these short messages. Today's stream is also brought to you by Vivastus brand cereal. Oh boy, Mom, I sure do love Vivastus brand cereal. It's my favorite way to start the day. Oh, Billy, you sure said it. It's the best cereal out there. Nothing like that other crap we were talking about earlier. That's right, Mom. Thanks to Vivastus brand cereal, it'll make me grow up big and strong. Oh, but you know what it won't cure, Billy? What's that, Mom? That bad fucking haircut. I see two bowls. A bowl down here and a bowl up here. Oh, gee whiz, Mom. Thanks to Vivastus brand cereal, your insults bounce off of me like rubber to a fucking glue gun. I don't know. Oh, Billy, you fucking bowl haircut. Did you know you cut your own hair? You little shit. You'd think Vivastus brand cereal, all those vitamins, nutrients, and all that shit would make you a little bit smarter, huh? Oh, gee whiz, Mom. A smart boy like me will always cut his own hair. Thanks to Vivastus brand cereal. It's got what kids crave. Thank you, Vivastus. I really appreciate it. A whole fucking year. That's crazy. Look at that booty. Look at that booty. Oh, the fucking Dutch. Oh, the Dutch. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Billy doesn't even use a mirror when he cuts his own hair. He's a, like, hair genius or something. You're at Joann's, and I'm trying to decide which color markers I should get. Red, turquoise, or skin colors. It's really hard to decide. I guess it depends what you do mostly. I'm a big fan of, like, shading with cool colors. Like doing black and white drawings, but shading them with, blues could be really fun. Skin color also seems like the most useful, at least for starting out. Can always add more colors later, or get like cheaper markers for all the other colors, and then just build it out from there. Let's see. And then for these wrinkles, draw mostly cartoon aliens, then green to me would seem to be the most appropriate. Little green gremlins. What?
Tartsy tip $1. I was supposed to give 1 penny, but the minimum was $1. Fucking hack service. Jesse is a sellout.
Thank you, Thursday. Thank you for that very useful information on stream. Thank you. Wouldn't it cost you like... Wouldn't it cost like 3 pennies to tip 1 penny? Wouldn't you be losing a lot of money? Thank you, Tersey. Appreciate it. What a fucking sellout. What a hack. That's right, Jay. Let's see. Add this selection back in. This one too. And then we want to erase this a little bit, just soften that. It's looking okay. At least in euros, it was decimals, so closer to 1 penny. I appreciate it. I could always use a penny, you know. Someday you go buy a house and you're like, you're missing 1 penny, sir. You can't have this house. Hey, Luna, how's it going? I see you over there. I wish I could see all the contributions to turn off the stream on OBS. It doesn't show. But yeah, holy shit. That's a lot of butts. Holy shit. Bum bum ba-dum. Bum ba-dum ba-da-dum bum bum. Ass! I'd rather take a diarrhea dookie than watch this stream. I'd rather pickle my own. Never mind. I'm gonna stop there. Save it for the private Discord calls. The good old classic angry video game nerd quote of, I'd rather not play this game. This game's so bad it they didn't make it very well. When they were programming it, they probably didn't look at the keyboard. For these wrinkles, I think we want to get rid of this middle section here. Like that. It's fucking Mario-ass music. And then invert selection. Do this inside. What were they thinking? I'd like to not play this game. Do something that would be up for more of my speed. Wow, this guy's so funny. Have you guys seen this new angry video game nerd? He's so funny. Mildly displeased video game nerd. I have a lot of preferences, and one of them's not to play this game. Invert selection. Let's add a little bit more to this wrinkle here. Scooby-doo wop bop biddy bop biddy boop 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 biddy boop. Maybe a little more subtle than that. Scooby-doo boobity boobity boopy doo boo. Scooby-doo doobity doo 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 doo. Hey tacos. How's it going? How's it going? Let me didn't want it to be too loud, but I think we could stand to turn that up a little bit. Hope you're doing well, Gums. We're working on ambient occlusion shadows. Let's see. It's under here. Added this. Turn that guy up. There we go. Cool. Cool. I do love tacos. I'd rather eat tacos than to play this game. Erase it a little bit so it's not so harsh. And then we've got some AO shadows here where the hair's going to be touching. Burritos. I'd rather play burritos than eat this game. It's early. I'm still getting up. Have you contributed your butts to the stream today? Did you see how many vertices I have here? Isn't it crazy? Isn't it nuts? I feel so smart using like 3D terms for painting. Even though I'm pretty sure the terms came before 3D existed. Maybe not though. Maybe they didn't. I actually don't know where terms like subsurface scattering and stuff come from. I was trying to say vertexes, but my brain didn't let me. I was trying to say it the wrong way to piss you off. Can I just point out how much I hate that rewind the stream button? I've clicked it 3 times now by accident. I saw that existed. I've not clicked it accidentally. Yeah, maybe like Kyla said, maybe try not doing that. I'm glad they have some sort of solution. I think the one on YouTube actually works better. Like you can go to any point in the stream on YouTube and then just click the live button to go back live whenever you want to. On Twitch it's a little bit clunkier. How'd they even do that? How'd they manage to fuck it up that badly? Wasn't even aware that you did it. That's weird. That's funny. I'd rather pay my taxes than play this game. And then a little bit over here. Definitely the neck is going to have a little bit, but pretty subtle also. And so we'll add a little and then take it away a little like that. Oh, mein grandpa. Mein grandpa would make the funniest oompa. Me and mein grandfather would make the greatest oompa. The more I paint this, the less I like the outline color. You know? Me and mein father do the oompa. We do the oompa all night long. Me and my father, we did the Oompa. We did the Oompa, and we sing this song. Mine father was an Oompa man. You want to know how I got this accordion? It's looking cute. Don't know about the colors, but that's okay. It's easy enough to adjust. Mine father was an uber trombone player. That looks cute. No! Kyla, no! Hold on a second. No, I can't contribute to my own turn off the stream channel points. God damn it. Also, this is not drop pile. Oops. Holy heck. Oops. It's a little late to change that, but better late than not at all. Let's see. Stream title. Change that there. Hopefully this changes it. Sometimes it's kind of clunky and doesn't work. Update. Sure didn't look like it worked. I changed it manually on Twitch. Anyways. Where are we now? We are doing... let's see. Probably this arm would be the next go-to. Or while we have the selection, let's invert it. We'll just do these parts since they're closest to the head. And have the weirdest selections to them. Like that. Thank you, DJC, for your channel points. Thank you, thank you. Boo, 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 boo. I think I might want to call the stream a little bit early. I do like how this is turning out, though. I don't know. If you guys really, really, really want me to keep streaming, I will. But I kind of feel like I just want to learn more about Unity and stuff. I've been trying out Unity instead of GameMaker, and while I feel like I'm starting over, it's also like I feel like I've learned a lot doing GameMaker programming to where Unity doesn't feel so out of reach. But yeah, depending how you guys feel. Money will not make a difference, Jersey, but I appreciate the sentiment. I do like money. Don't get me wrong. I like money. Probably more than anyone else in the entire planet Earth, but why don't you stream that? Because it'd be boring. It'd just be me watching YouTube videos. I mean, I definitely could. We could put a YouTube video up, but I could still paint along with it. Maybe we'll do that. I don't have a sellout command, Whirl. If you want to use your mod powers, I think you can make a sellout command. It's not that Unity's cool, it's just that making an HTML game in GameMaker was not working. Like, some really basic features were not functional. Unless I'm just stupid, unless I'm just big idiot boy, which is very likely. But Unity, it seems like there's more, like, help out there. I think that's what attracts me to it the most, is, like, there's more resources for learning Unity than there are for GameMaker. Like, I just looked up HTML camera, and Kylo was right, there's nothing. Nobody's written anything about making an HTML game with a camera in it. I don't like Unity, necessarily. It's just that GameMaker doesn't do what I want it to do. Do you know Unity, Toon Boom? Or, do you know Unity, DJC? Yeah, I know it has Toon Boom integration, but I actually don't know anything about it, or how it works, or what the idea behind it is. See, there's going to be a little bit of AO shadows around her mouth here. Oh, just read about it. Yeah, I actually don't know that much about the Unity Toon Boom stuff. Let's see. Get rid of this section. Mein Obervater. Get rid of this selection. Add this selection. Do her lower lip. Ja, mein Obervater. Yeah, dude, like, a lot of Unity tutorials are like out of date and don't work, so you gotta be real careful with like what you follow. And then we'll do some for her hair here. Mein Vater was an Übermensch. But yeah, I do like that, you get the flexibility of doing 3D and 2D stuff. That's pretty cool. I didn't think I'd be into making 3D games, but you never know. There's no such thing as an Ubervater. Mein Vater was an Ubervater, and his father before him. Yeah, I played around with Godot a little bit. You really do. You have to dedicate so many hours to learning stuff like that. It makes it a bit tricky. Mein Vater was an Appenzell. Maybe erase a little bit inside the eyes. Looks cute. And then there's going to be a little bit of a shadow right in here, like this. Get rid of this guy. There we go. More like that. And we just blur it a little bit. He flows through the air with the greatest of ease, that daring young man on the flying trapeze. You know? Yeah, dude. The older you get, the harder time is to come by. So you have to be really careful with where you spend it. Be really conscious of when you have it, because holy shit does it go away fast. I had a day off yesterday and I feel like I wasted it. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of eyeshadow in here. Like this. Hey, I don't know. Maybe it needs to be more out like this. Do you ever just be a dragon with a sniper rifle with a snake by your side? Oops. Get rid of that. Airbrush again. Shadow. that too much. No, it looks kind of cute actually. Sort of like that. Thing is, I have all the time in the world. You was learning. That's not a waste. Fuck. I don't know, man. I could have been making stuff. But it's alright. Tersey, the thing is, I have all the time in the world. I just never feel like starting anything. I'm entirely dependent on you. That's too bad. I feel like, a lot of creativity, like creating things, is about discipline and like not waiting on mood. But I know how tough that can be. If you really don't feel like working on something, it can be really hard to motivate yourself to do so. And that mood stuff, like once it hits, you know, you almost don't ever stop. Like, makes it really fun to work on stuff. Not sure what to do about this outline color. I mean, that looks better, but it also looks boring. Looks fucking boring. Her colors are just so boring to me. I don't know. But it's also like, what else is it gonna be? I'll press OK on it for now. We do have different shirts for her. We have, where are they? We have, like, this color, which is pretty cute. I actually like that a lot. We have this color, which is, like, a darker, more saturated blue. That's okay. Hey, on it. Thank you, Kyla. Yeah, I understand how big of a deal mood can be. That's a bad color. That's like radioactive blue. I should actually delete that layer. I like this turquoise. The turquoise is really cute. I might stick with that. I kind of like that a lot. I think that looks way cuter than the blue. Even if it sort of makes everything one color. I think, don't tell anyone this, but I think I kind of like that it's all one color. It makes her look kind of naked. But she's wearing a shirt. Yeah, I like the lighter color. And with that outline color, it kind of works too. I don't think I really need to change it. Oh yeah. Wouldn't say it's about motivation or waiting for mood, it's just that I don't want to do much. Maybe I need to do better in my lifestyle since all I do is sit and observe. Like, I do animate for a job. Have a hold on myself pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, if you're working in animation, like, I'm sure discipline's not a concern. That shit's hard. Yeah, let's, what time is it? What time is it right now? Where's my clock? 7:24, so I have about an hour before I have to go. Let's take a quick break. Let's do a stretch break. Go grab a drink, grab some water, get a sandwich. I'm gonna BRB, and we'll do some Unity learning when we get back. Okay, love you. See you soon.
I love you!
Nice of the princess to invite us over for a picnic, gay Luigi. Alright. So yo, check this out. Check this out, yo. Let me open up Unity for a sec. I'll show you guys what I made, what I did. It's pretty epic. It's probably the best game ever made. Chicken Draws. Hey Jesse, how did you learn animation? Did you go to school or are you self-taught? I'm currently in school, obtaining either an animation certificate or a 2-year animation AAS degree. Would like some advice. My situation might not apply to your situation, but I went to college for animation. I went to the Art Institute. I actually started in game design and switched over to animation because I hated programming. And now I'm programming again. Yeah, the nice thing about going to school for it is just like the people. Like, I'm still friends with a lot of people I went to school with. And, you know, getting that instant feedback from your teachers. I would say you could learn the same thing out of school. You could learn the same exact things on your own outside of school. But it would probably be slower. All school is going to do is just teach the same things, but it's going to be faster. That's all. But yeah, if you want to know more about my experience going to school, feel free to ask me any questions on it. Here's my game. Here's what I made. We're gonna press play up here, so it goes into play mode. I will say, it actually compiles the game faster than GameMaker on this computer. Look, I can click and it goes to a thing. I can even interrupt it and make it go back and forth. So I learned how to, do mouse clicks and have a thing like happen because of it. Don't whoa. Don't whoa this. But yeah, Game of the Year. When will Mario call someone gay once again? I've been waiting for so long. I know, I miss it too. Play the game. Instant replay. But yeah, let me open up the clip again so we're looking at something not gray and ugly. Super cool square game. Click. Click to go. Look, he's up in the corner. Look, I can make him go in a circle. Whoa! Anyways, I've got a coding thing I was working my way through yesterday. I'm gonna put that on. Let me go into my history. Let me find it first. Lots of Germa clips, some brutal moose. There we go.
And we'll use that.
This might be a little bit loud. Let me turn it down like so. And then add a browser source. Browser, mushroom. Oh wait, I think I have, here, let me go into studio mode, go here, copy this, go to main, and then paste it as a reference here. There we go. And there's our YouTube. Stop studio mode. So I've got subtitles on so you can kind of follow along. We were in the middle of learning about loops, so
In a second. But first, we probably want to create some variables. We want an integer that is going to store what we...
I think we're gonna, since loops are one of those things that I have trouble with, I think we're gonna start it from the beginning, just so we have context. This is Brackeys. Brackeys is great for learning Unity. It's probably the best channel I found in my one day of learning it. So take that for what you will.
Now, loops allow us to repeat code. See what I did there? This means that we can repeat certain parts of our program. This is extremely handy as we often want things to happen over and over again depending on the situation. This allows us to do anything from printing the numbers 1 through 10 to creating a guessing game where the player has to guess a number. Here, we could have the computer pick a random number between 1 and 5. Then, the player could type in a number. If the player types in the wrong number, we can simply allow them to guess again. We could then repeat this process until the player guesses the right number and we print out correct. So loops are extremely important and really cool because they allow us to take advantage of the computer in a way we haven't done before. But before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Jason Wyman. Jason is an industry professional and he just created an amazing course on game architecture.
I've actually seen some of his videos. His videos are very great. He's got some free YouTube videos. I would definitely check out his channel as well.
The course teaches you how to structure your game and code in a professional manner to avoid all of the headaches you might run into when creating a bigger game.
Do you think it's worth learning Blender? Absolutely. Yeah, if nothing else then, like, the freedom to make your own, like, environments and stuff. I got into learning Blender just to, kind of like using Google SketchUp to make your own backgrounds and stuff. If you're working in the industry, it's gonna be 3ds Max or Maya, but... Oh, Chicken Draws, thank you for the follow. Welcome to my trash pile. But once you learn one 3D software, they're pretty similar to each other. What? Chicken Draws?
Chicken Draws just subscribed. Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, I feel like once you learn one 3D program, you should be able to use all the others. Chicken Draws, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for that Prime sub. I really appreciate that. We'll talk more 3D stuff, but we do have a quick commercial break. But we'll be right back after these short messages. Today's stream is brought to you by Chicken Draws brand cereal. Oh boy, Mom! I sure do love Chicken Draws brand cereal. It's my favorite way to start the day. Oh, Billy, it's got pencil shavings, it's got vitamins, nutrients, everything a growing boy like Billy needs. That's right, Mom. Thanks to Chicken Draws brand cereal, it'll make me grow up big and strong. Oh, Billy, you don't got no legs. Thanks, Billy! That's right! wait. That's right, Mom! Thanks to Chicken Draws brand cereal, it's made my legs disappear! Whoa, Billy! If that isn't a selling point of Chicken Draws brand cereal, I don't know what is! Brought to you by Chicken Draws brand cereal. It's got what kids crave. Thank you, Chicken Draws, for this sub. I really appreciate it. Kyla, I already showed my game. You missed it. If you're gonna be in Discord chat later, I'm sure we can talk about it more. Does Mom have legs though? Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
Bitch! I love you!
Alright, back to the video.
You'll learn everything from writing testable code, the most obvious systems, along with email coding to a general at the for loop. Types of from line of for loop.
Here we go.
Isn't it pretty? Now in general, there are two types of loops. For loop and while loop. Let's start by having a look at the for loop. For loops are used when we want to repeat code a certain number of times. Let's say we want to print out the numbers 1 through 10. Now you could just write console.writeLine 10 times, but that quickly gets pretty cumbersome. Instead, we would simply use a for loop that runs 10 times. We say that the for loop runs for 10 iterations. The cool thing about a for loop is that it gives us a variable that tells us what iteration we're currently at. We often just call this I. We normally start this at 0. So the first time the loop runs, I is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and so on.
Pencil shavings and pluck feathers. Delicious.
And we can use this in our code. If we want to print out the numbers 1 through 10, we just put console.writeLine inside of our for loop and have it write out I plus 1. So when we run our program, I starts at 0, and so 0 plus 1 is 1. The second time it prints 1 plus 1, which is 2, and so on. Of course, we still need some code that tells it how many times it should repeat. We do this inside the parentheses. Now, the syntax for this is a bit weird, but don't worry, you will get the hang of it. So
I actually I've used loops before, and I've never understood them, how their structure works until this video.
First off, we write what should happen before the loop starts. Here we write int I equals 0 and then a semicolon. In other words, we create the I variable and set it equal to 0. We then write the condition that needs to be met for our loop to keep running. In this case, we want the loop to run as long as I is less than 10. Again, we end this with a semicolon. Then finally, we need to tell the computer what happens after each loop. In our case, each time we've gone through the loop, we want to increase I by 1. The shorthand notation for this is I++.
Like this slide, I've never seen it broken down this way, and this makes the most sense I've ever seen for a for loop. Like, why is the condition in the middle? Don't you think condition should be at the end and have the before and after like be the first two? Why is it that way? But holy shit, just this screen cap right here clarified it so much for me. Oh, I believe it. I believe Blender is probably going to be an industry standard. The only reason it's not going to be is because people already have the licenses for the other programs, kind of like Flash.
So we're creating a variable called I, we're telling it to increment by 1 after each iteration, and we want to keep running the loop as long as I is less than 10. And that's it. If we run our program now, it prints out all the right numbers. But this is just counting to 10. We can do much cooler stuff by just changing the code inside of our for loop. Let's try it out. Alright, so to create a for loop, we write for, and we could actually create this by hand, or we could go down to this option that says for loop and simply hit tab. And as you can see, this is going to auto-complete a for loop for us. And the cool thing is that first here, we can go ahead and specify the variable name. We could set this to X or J or just the standard I. And if we hit tab again, we can choose a length or how many times we want the for loop to run. So in our case, we can just set that to say 10. If we then hit tab again, it's going to complete the for loop and we can now write some code inside. So a handy little trick there. Now, to print out the numbers 1 through 10, we write console.writeLine, and then we simply feed it I plus 1. Again, because...
Y'all got any good Blender tutorial videos? I do. Let me show you the video I wish I would have watched. Let me see if I can find it. Blender low poly. I mean, it depends on what you want to learn, but this video, it's only an hour and 30 minutes. For like to learn everything about Blender, I think that's pretty good. If you want to get into modeling, which I think that's like the basic thing that you should want to do in Blender is learning how to model. That's a real good one. I wish I would have had that tutorial when I started. But yeah, the grease pencil looks awesome. I've only used it a little bit. I want to learn more about it and get better with it. Yeah, welcome, Buddhist.
Because I starts at 0, and we want to go 1, 2, 3, and not 0, 1, 2. And indeed, if we run this program, we can see that it shows the numbers 1 through 10. However, there's actually another way to do this. Instead of adding 1 onto I every time, we could go up here and simply start our I variable at 1, so it doesn't start at 0, it starts at 1, and it will keep going as long as I is less than or equal to 10. So this way, we're actually just setting our I variable to what we want it to be from the beginning, and if we run our program, we can see that it does the exact same thing. So what this means is that we can easily change the parameters of our for loop in order to have it do
Wait, I want to
what
go
this
back.
means.
I missed that.
So see that it shows the 0 pencil. Little trick there. Now to print out the numbers 1 through I plus 1. Again, because I starts at 0, and we want to go 1, 2, 3, and not 0, 1, 2. And indeed, if we run this program, we can see that it shows the numbers 1 through 10. However, there's actually another way to do this. Instead of adding 1 onto I every time, we could go up here and simply start our I variable at 1, so it doesn't
Oh, I see. That's pretty simple. I understand.
start at 0, it starts.
This is just YouTube, DJC. This is Brackeys channel. Brackeys. Brackeys. It's probably, if you look up Blender or Unity tutorials, it'll be like the first one. Brackeys is great. This is just how to program in C#.
Starts at 1, and it will keep going as long
Not even necessarily a Unity tutorial, just a C# tutorial.
as I is less than or equal to 10. So this way, we're actually just setting our I variable to what we want it to be from the beginning, and if we run our program, we can see that it does the exact same thing. So what this means is that we can easily change the parameters of our for loop in order to have it do different things. Say for example, we wanted to count down from 10 instead of up to 10. Here we could just set I equal to 10 from the beginning. Then every time the loop is done, instead of incrementing
Minus.
by 1, we want to decrement by 1. So I is going to be reduced by 1 here. And we want to keep doing this for as long as I is greater than 0. So I starts at 10. We're going to subtract 1 for every time we've gone through the loop. And we're going to keep doing this as long as I is greater than 0. And if we now run the program, as we can see, it gives us the numbers 10, 9, 8 all the way down to 1. Really, really cool. But just
This is this is episode 4. We are on loops. So 4 out of 8, I believe.
printing out I isn't very exciting. Let's instead have it calculate some cool numbers for us. I'm going to set I here back to 1. I'm going to change the condition to less than or equal to 10. And again, I'm going to change it to I++. So we're back to counting from 1 to 10. Then instead of just writing out I, let's go ahead and calculate something cooler. So something that I really like are the numbers that you get if you take 2 and raise it to the power of x. This is going to give some cool numbers because 2 to the power of 1 is 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then 16, then 32, 64, and so on. So it gives us these really cool even numbers that are doubled every time. And if we imagine that instead of x here, we just use our I variable, we can create this series of numbers really easily. So to calculate this, let's first create a variable that is going to hold the result. Let's make this an integer, let's call it result, and let's write an equal sign. And now to calculate 2 to the power of I, we actually need a mathematical function. So far all of the math we've done has been addition or subtraction, multiplication or division, which has these very simple operators. but now we need to raise 2 to the power of another number. To do this, we use the math class. This has a bunch of mathematical functions that do all kinds of things. So if we write dot here, we can actually see these different functions. We have sine and tangents, we have the square root, we can round a number or truncate it, we can do all kinds of things here. And what we want to look for is the pow function, or raising a number to the power of another number. Here we open some parentheses, and first we write in the number that we want to raise to a power. So in our case that's 2. Then we write comma, and then the number that specifies the power. In our case, we want to raise 2 to the power of I. Let's close this off. And as you can see, this is giving us a red line. It's saying cannot implicitly convert type double to int.
Hey, Chris12, thank you for the follow. Oops. We're just learning some C# for our Unity game. Potentially Unity. I haven't decided for sure, but Unity seems pretty cool. I actually had a lot of fun playing in Unity, except for the programming part.
The reason for this is that our math function returns a double, and our variable is currently of type int. So we could either convert this number to an integer, or we could simply change our variable type to double. Let's just do that. Then, instead of writing out I, let's simply write out the result. And if we now run this program, as we can see, it gives us the right series of numbers. We have 2, 4, 8, 6.
See you, Kyla. Can we ban Chris and then report him for ban evasion, please? Plushy, how's it going? Hydrate, posture check. Thank you, Kyla. Yeah, good luck adulting. I hope it goes well. Also, Plushy, hydrate, posture check. Drink whatever, check whatever your posture is. Thank you, mods. I appreciate you guys.
16, 32, 64, and it keeps going until the number gets very big. And
that was the second time they got bonked. Buddhists, they've been bonked already. They couldn't get enough.
Indeed, there are 10 of these. But currently our program does the same thing every time.
Debated.
It would be cooler if we could allow the user to determine how many numbers we should print. To do that, let's go to the top here and let's write console.write how many cool numbers do you want? And then give them some space to write that in. Then we can gather the result into some kind of variable. I'm going to write int. Let's call it count and set it equal to console.readline. And of course, remember, we need to convert this to an integer, so we'll go convert.toInt32 and wrap that around. There we go, so we're asking the user to input a number. They input a number and we call it count. And now, right now, our for loop is going from 1 to 10. Instead of just going to 10 every time, we can actually go in here and have it continue as long as I is less than or equal to count. And so our for loop will repeat a number of times determined by what the user has put in. And if we run this now, our program asks how many cool numbers do you want? We can put in, say, 15. And as you can see, it prints out 15 of the numbers in this 2 to the power of I series. Awesome! So that's how you can get started repeating code using for loops. But one of the most common ways to use for loops and where they really start to shine is when we have a look at lists and arrays. And we will do that in the next video.
Excited for lists and arrays. My game, since it's a visual novel, heavily relies on lists and arrays, so that will be a big study once it gets to that part.
So just know that...
Yeah, right, Pootis? All you have to do is, like, not say your old username. That's all you had to do.
For loops are about to get even cooler. Now, the second type of loop is the while loop. This is used when we want to repeat code for as long as a certain condition is met. Here, we often don't know beforehand how many times the loop is going to run. Say we're creating a program to simulate dice rolls, and we want to see how many attempts it takes to roll a 6. In this case, a while loop is perfect because we can keep repeating the code that rolls the die until we hit a 6. And the syntax is actually much simpler than a for loop. In fact, it's completely identical to an if statement. We write while, then parentheses followed by some curly brackets. And inside the parentheses, we put the condition that needs to be met in order for a while loop to run. In this case, we probably have some kind of roll variable, that is some number between 1 and 6 depending on what we rolled. So in our condition, we just need to say that we want our loop to keep running as long as roll is not equal to 6. Then inside of our curly brackets, we can simply roll the die by setting our roll variable to some number between 1 and 6. And so this will keep repeating until we roll the right number. Now, this is also where we have to be careful with while loops, because if we don't write them correctly, we might accidentally put in a condition that will always be true. Say if we accidentally check if our roll is not equal to 7. Our roll will always have a value between 1 and 6. And so this loop will keep running infinitely and crash our program. Don't panic if this happens, it just means that our while loop doesn't know when to stop. And trust me, you will make this mistake at some point. Every programmer has. Now let's try it out in VS Code. Now for this program, we want to have the ability to create random numbers. And to do that, we first have to kind of define a number generator. So we're going to type in random here. We're then going to type in the name of our number generator. I'm just going to call it number gen. And we can set it equal to a new random followed by 2 parentheses and a semicolon. I know the syntax for this is currently very weird. It looks kind of like a variable and kind of like a function, and then there's this new word. Just ignore it for now. We'll get into why this is written this way later when we learn about classes. But for now, just right after me. Just know that what this allows us to do is go number gen dot and then write.
Plushie, a beta tester walks into a bar, orders a beer, then orders 2 beers, then orders 2 beer, then banana beer, then orders -15 beer, then orders infinity beer. An actual customer walks into the bar and asks where the bathroom is. The bar catches fire. I think I get it. Also, Rip World.
Next, and this is a function that is going to give us a random number between a minimum and maximum value. So we can put in 2 values here and it's going to give us a random number between the 2. And we'll use that in a second. But first, we probably want to create some variables. We want an integer that is going to store what we rolled, and let's just default that to 0. We're also going to create another integer, and this is going to keep track of how many attempts we've used in order to roll that 6. So let's just call it attempts and also default this to 0. And now we can create our while loop. So we want to create a while, open and close some parentheses, open and close some curly brackets, and inside of the parentheses here we want to put our condition. In our case, we want to keep rolling as long as our roll is not equal to 6, in which case we've rolled a 6 and we want to exit out of this while loop. Then inside of the loop, we can go ahead and set roll equal to a random value between 1 and 6. And this is where we use our number generator. So we go number gen dot next, just like I showed you. This is a function that will give us a random number. And first we input our minimum number, that is going to be 1. This is what we call inclusive, which means that the number that we write is going to be included in the numbers that are possible. So we can roll 1, 2, so comma here, and then the second value, which is going to be the maximum number that we can roll. And this is exclusive. So this number is not included in what is possible. So in other words, we need to write 7 here. So we can go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7 is exclusive. I know you might be thinking now, why have the first number be inclusive and the second number be exclusive? That's just very counterintuitive, but there is actually a good reason for this and you will see it later. For now, we can just close this with a semicolon, and that should give us a random number between 1 and 6. Then we can maybe write out what we rolled, so we can do console.writeLine, you rolled, and then put in our roll. And finally, after each attempt, we want to go ahead and increase attempts by 1. So we're going to increment attempts here by just writing attempts ++. And if we just run this program now, we can see that I rolled a 2, a 4, a 5, then a 1, and it keeps going until I rolled a 6. Awesome. Now, of course, after we rolled the 6, we want to write out how many attempts that took. And we do that by adding some code down here. And the reason for this is that our code is read from the top here, so we create a random number generator. we create two integers, we then enter into this while loop, and this is going to keep repeating until we roll that 6, and only once we do that is the code going to continue down and run whatever we put down here. So think of it like our computer is getting stuck on this loop, and it won't get to whatever we write down here.
I see, Plushie. Beta testers stress test, and actual users will inevitably find what testers didn't think. That's pretty cute. I like it.
Till after it's finished. And once it is, we can write console.writeLine. It took you. Then we can write out how many attempts. And then another string here, attempts to roll a 6. There we go. And indeed, if we run this program again, we can see that I rolled a bunch of times and it took me 10 attempts to roll a 6. Awesome. And a cool thing about looping is that
Hey, Kimmy, how's it going? We're learning some C#. You want to learn with us?
we can actually make it a tiny bit interactive, because right now it just prints all of the numbers at once, which is a bit overwhelming. So let's instead have the user press a key before we continue to the next roll. So at the top here, we can just say console.writeLine, press enter to roll the die. Then inside of our while loop, before we actually roll, we want to go ahead and put in some kind of console.readKey. So this is just going to wait for the user to press any key. Right now we're not checking if the user presses the enter key or anything else, but I think that's fine for this example. So what we're doing is we're writing out press enter to roll the die, and then inside of our while loop, before we do each roll, every time this loop goes through, we're going to wait for the user to press a key. So if we now run the program, it says press enter to roll the die. I'm going to press enter here. We roll the 3. I'm going to press again, another 3. And I'm going to keep going like this until we roll a 6. And then it says it took you 4 attempts to roll a 6. Very, very cool. Now, for this week's challenge, I want you to expand this idea of rolling a die. In fact, I want you to create a program that rolls 2 dice at once. You can then check how many attempts it takes before you roll 2 of a kind. So here's an example of how that might look. As you can see, it says press enter to roll the dice. I'm going to press enter here, and it's going to roll both dice 1 and 2. On the first one, I rolled a 3. On the second one, I rolled 1. And I can keep doing this until I roll 2 of a kind. As you can see, for my last roll, I rolled 2 3s. And it took me 9 attempts to roll 2 of a kind. Now, to do this, you need to create another roll variable. Then change the condition of the while loop so that it will run as long as the 2 rolls are different. Then inside of the while loops, make sure that you're assigning random numbers to both roll variables. And finally, you want to print out the number of attempts. So have fun with it, and remember that as always, I've posted my solution to this week's challenge on the Brackeys forum. So check that out.
Need to check out the forum. The Brackeys forum looks really good.
Using the link in the description if you get stuck. That's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Also, don't forget to check out Jason's course on game architecture. Now, so
Arrays, let's go!
far, we've only used variables that store one thing, such as a float that stores a number or a string that stores some text. However, often in programming, we want to work with an entire list of items. So in this video, we'll learn how to use lists and arrays to store many things in a single variable. But before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Core. Core is the new game creation platform that lets you build, publish, and play games. If you're just starting out making games, Core way using to create 6 to 16 will also be showcased at campaignsgames.com, or simply click the link in the description. Now, when we want to create a list of items, such as my favorite characters in Game of Thrones, for example, the easiest way to do this in C# is with an array. Arrays allow us to store multiple values in a single variable. And the syntax for creating an array is actually fairly simple. First, we put the type of the variables that we want our array to store. In this case here, that's a string. Then we open and close 2 square brackets, followed by the name of the variable. Now, if we already know what to put inside...
I actually watch the ads when I'm watching them, on my own. I like to support the creators, but, we're in a hurry. We got things to learn. We got things to do.
of our array, we can simply do that here. To do this, we write an equal sign, then open and close curly brackets and put a semicolon. Inside the curly brackets, we put all the values we open and close our array. We can simply do that here. To do this, we write an equal sign, then open and close curly brackets and put a semicolon. Inside the curly brackets, we put all the values we want separated by commas. And because we're using strings here, we need to remember the quotation marks. I'll put Varys, Cersei, Tyrion, and Bronn. Definitely not Bran, but Bronn. Sorry, Bran fans. Let the discussion commence. And that's it. We've now created an array. A highly subjective array, but an array nonetheless. Now, when we're creating an array, think of it like we're creating a table of items, where each item has a number associated with it. We refer to this number as the index. The first item always has an index of 0, the second item an index of 1, then 2, and
Makes
so
sense.
on. And we use the index to access an element inside the array. If, for example, we want to print out my second favorite Game of Thrones character, we would write console.write and then input the name of the array followed by 2 square brackets. And this is where we specify an index. So because the index starts from 0, to display my second favorite Game of Thrones character, we input an index of 1. And
Makes
this
sense.
indeed prints out Cersei. And this is cool and all, but where arrays really start to shine is when we combine them with loops. So let's jump into VS Code and try that out. So let's start out by creating an array. I'm going to create a string array, and I'm going to have it store some of my favorite movies. And since I know these beforehand, we can go ahead and use the equal sign, then some curly brackets, followed by a semicolon. And in here we can put some of the movies. So I'm going to start with Lord of the Rings. I'm going to throw in Fight Club, Interstellar, and let's just put in Gladiator. Definitely a lot of good movies here. And we can actually loop through these movies using a for loop. So let's go ahead and create a for loop. I'm going to write for. I'm going to go down to
I'm
here where it
curious
says
about.
for loop and hit tab in order to auto-complete it. I'm going to call my variable I here for index. And then the length here, I'm going to continue as long as I is less than, let's just put in 10. And that's it, we've now created a for loop. Now inside of this, we can go ahead and use console.writeLine in order to write something out each time we go through the loop. And right now, I'm just going to print out I. So we've created a for loop here that makes a variable called I and sets it equal to 0. It's then going to write out that number and keep doing this as long as I is less than 10. So if we just run our program now, we can see that this prints out the numbers 0 through 9. And instead of just printing these numbers, we can use them as indexes to access the different elements in our array. So instead of just printing out console.writeLine I, we can actually print out movies and then open and close some square brackets.
There.
And inside of
I think we're done with shading on her. We'll probably just go back into our sketches page. Just do some doodling.
these, we can then put that I. So the first time we go through the loop, I is going to be 0, and so we're going to take the first element of our movies array, which is Lord of the Rings. Then the second time, I is going to be 1, and so we're going to go to the second element of our array, which is Fight Club. And it's going to keep doing this as long as I is less than, and here we want to put in the length of our array. So in our case, we have 4 elements in here, so I'm just going to write 4. And indeed, if we now run this program, we can see that it no longer prints out the index, but instead actually accesses the element in the array with that index. So Lord of the Rings, Fight Club, Interstellar, and then Gladiator. Awesome! And we could just write it like this, but instead of hard coding the length of our array like this, it's better practice to go movies.length. This way, if we later decide to add or remove an element from our movies array, this number is going to update, and so a for loop will always run the appropriate number of times. Now, we could just show the movies like this, or we could add the ranking. So we can actually use our I variable to show what number the current movie is in our array. So before we print out the movie, we can create an integer, let's call it rank, and set it equal to I plus 1. Because I starts at 0, we add the plus 1 here, so that our rank will start at 1, then go to 2, then 3, and then 4. What we can then do is add the rank variable to our write line. So here we can go and print out rank plus, I'm going to add a dot and a space here, and then plus the movie at that index. So what we now get if we run this are all of the same movies, but ranked 1 through 4. Awesome, so you can see how easy it is to work with arrays as long as we remember this relationship between the index and the value that we're trying to access. But sometimes we don't know beforehand what we want in our array. If, for example, we want the user to input their favorite movies, we can't immediately assign values to the array. Instead, we need to create an empty array first and then populate the values one by one. So let me remove the code here. And instead what we'll do is create an empty array. And to do this, we use the same syntax. So string, square brackets, let's call it movies. And then after the equal sign, we write new. Then the type of array, in our case that's string, followed by the square brackets, and then a semicolon. Then inside of the brackets, we get to specify the length. This is how many elements we want our array to store. In this case, let's just have the user input 4 movies, so we'll set this to 4. And there you go, we've now created an array that can hold 4 strings. We can then tell the user to input 4 movies, so we'll go console.writeLine, type in 4 movies, and then we can assign a value to each element in the array by using the index. So to assign the first movie, we go movies, then we give it the index of 0, and we set this equal to console.readLine, so whatever the user typed in. And we can do this 4 times, 1 for each index. So for the second one, we're going to put in 1. For the third one, we're going to put in 2. And for the fourth one, we'll put in 3. And this should indeed work. If we now run this program, we can see that we are prompted to type in 4 movies. I'm going to type in Pulp Fiction, Inception, Harry Potter, and Karate Kid. And now we can't type in any more, that will just close down the console. So as you can see, nothing is really happening here, but we are actually storing these values inside of our array. And we can now start to do things with them. If, for example, we wanted to display them in alphabetical order, we could use the sort method. So we'll add some extra lines here. We'll write out something to the user. So we'll go console.writeLine and say something like, here they are alphabetically. And I'm just going to add a new line at the start of that just to make the formatting better. Then we can sort the array. To do that, we go array.sort, and here we simply input the name of our array. So in our case, that is movies. And that is actually going to go ahead and just sort it alphabetically. You can do this if you have a bunch of numbers as well using the same function, which is going to sort them in ascending order. And then we can simply print out all the movies. Again, we could do this one by one, but it's much easier to use the for loop. So we'll write for int I equals 0. We'll keep going as long as I is less than movies.length. And in here, we'll just do console.writeLine and then movies, input the I for the index, and close that up with a semicolon. And before we test this, I just want to clean up our code a tiny bit, because just like we're using a for loop down here in order to print out all of our movies, let's also use a for loop up here when we're gathering input. There's really no reason why we should do this one by one. So instead of writing these 4 lines here, we can simply use a for loop. Again, start the index at 0, keep going as long as I is less than movies.length, and then we can take one of these lines here, and instead of putting in 0, 1, 2, or 3, we just put in the I. That means that we can get rid of all these lines right here, which is much, much cleaner, especially if you're working with a huge amount of items. And if we go ahead and run this program now, we can type in 4 movies, hit enter, and the computer solves them alphabetically and displays them in that order. Awesome! So that's just a simple example of how we can combine arrays with for loops in order to automate things when we're working with a lot of items. Of course, one of the disadvantages of using arrays is that they have a fixed size. This means that once we've created an array and given it a length, in this case we've given it a length of 4, we cannot change it. So if we don't know beforehand how many items we want to store, we instead use a list. When working with lists, we don't need to specify a length, they are totally resizable. A good example of where this is useful is if we're creating a shopping list. Here we could use a list to keep track of all the items we need to purchase. Now, to use a list, we actually need to include another namespace. You can think of namespaces like groups of functionality that we can import in order to do different things. For example, when making a game, we often have a namespace dedicated to audio, one for graphics, one for input, and so on. So far, we've just been using the default system namespace. We can see that here at the top. This includes the console class that we've been using so much. But lists are inside another namespace. So at the top, we need to add another line, and here we'll write using followed by the namespace we want to include. Lists are inside of the system.collections.generic namespace. So just by writing that here, we've now included all of this functionality that we can now use in our program. And with that, we can start using lists. Now, a list is something that we call a generic, which makes the syntax a bit different from a normal array. To create a list, we first type list, then a less than sign, followed by the type. In our case, we want this to be string, and then a greater than sign. We then put a name here. I'm going to type shopping list. And just like when we created an empty array, we also need to create an empty list. Again, the syntax for this is a bit weird, but just type after me. So we'll create an equal sign here. We'll then type new list of type string, followed by 2 parentheses and a semicolon. And that's it. We've now created a list. And this is by far the most scary part of working with lists. From here on, it's actually really simple. If we want to add an item to our list, we simply go shopping list.add, and then we put in what we want to add. Now, I'm going to go shopping in a pretty unconventional place, the Intergalactic Heaven Express Mall. And here they sell items such as dreams. So I'm going to add that to my shopping cart. I'm also going to add another thing here, so I'll add another line. I'm going to add miracles. And let's just do a couple more. Rainbows, and maybe a pony. So now that we've added all these things to our list, we can go ahead and print them out. And this works in the exact same way as a normal array. We can use a for loop. Let's hit tab again to autocomplete. And we're going to loop through as long as I is less than shopping list dot. And when working with lists, we cannot write length here. Instead, we have to write count. Don't ask me why, but that's just how it is. So just remember that when working with arrays, to get the length, you write length. And when working with lists, you write count. Simple as that. And that's pretty much the only thing that's different. We can now go console.writeLine, access the shopping list, type some square brackets, and put in I as the index. And that's it. If we now hit F5 and run this, we can see it prints out all of the items in our shopping list. So far, so good. But we could just have done this with a normal array. One of the things that makes lists really handy is that we can easily remove from them. So if we decide to scratch a couple of things from our shopping list, we can simply go shopping list.remove and then input the item we want to remove. Say I figured out that I already had some dreams left over in the fridge.
I think another thing about learning to program this way, I think it's going to make me more comfortable with programming in GameMaker. Like GameMaker's so loosey-goosey. You can mess up a lot of things in GameMaker and it still works. In Unity, you have to be a lot more careful. And I think it's going to make me a better programmer learning to program this way.
I could simply remove that from the list. And we can actually also choose to remove using an index. So we can go shopping list.remove add and then input some kind of index here. So if we want to remove the second item, we can put in 1. And with these things removed, let's display the list once more. So I'm just going to go ahead and do console.writeLine. I'm just going to write a bunch of dashes here just to kind of separate the two lists. And then we can do another for loop. In fact, we can simply copy the one from up here down here. And if we now run this, I'm just going to place this over here. As we can see, it prints out the entire list with dreams, miracles, rainbows, and a pony. It then removes the dreams and then removes the second item. But because we've already removed dreams, our first item is now miracles with an index of 0, and the second item is rainbows with an index of 1. And so it went ahead and removed the rainbows, which leaves us with miracles and a pony. Still a pretty exciting list. So that's how you can get started using lists and arrays to store multiple items. Now, for this week's challenge, I want you to create a program that allows a teacher to input all the students in the class and have their names printed out alphabetically. You can decide for yourself if you want to use an array or a list. In my example, I've used an array. Let me just give you a quick demo. As you can see, the program starts by asking how many students are in the class. I'm just going to put in 4 here. And the reason why we're doing this is so that I know how large of an array I should create. Here we need to store 4 students, so I'm creating an array of that size. Then it says, please input the names of the students. I'm going to put in John Wick, Harry Potter, Dwayne Johnson, and Shrek. And as you can see, it creates this line here and then prints out the exact same list, but in alphabetical order. Awesome. So have fun with it. And always, I've posted my solution to this week's challenge on the Brackeys forum. There's of course a link for that in the description. That's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the. So we've learned how to use variables, loops, and arrays to create different behavior in our code. But so far, everything we've done has been written from top to bottom. For pretty much all of our programs, we've created a few variables, gathered some input, done something with it, and spit out a result. And while you can get a long way with this, programming doesn't start to get really interesting before we're able to reuse code. And this is exactly where methods come in. A method allows us to group together code that performs a specific task. This way, we can write the code only once and then use it whenever we need. But first, this video is sponsored by Millinode.
Millinode's great.
A method option. So get everyone some code that prints collaborating with your friends now by simply clicking the link in the description. Say we want some code that prints a random number in our console. Well, we can create a method that does this. And there are 2 things that we need to do when working with methods. First, we define the method, and then we call it. And what does that mean? Well, I like to think of a method like a machine. When we define a method, we choose a name and what we would like it to do. Here we are creating the machine and telling it how to behave. In this case, we want to create a machine called printNumber and give it some code for displaying a random number. Let's have a look at doing this in C#. So far, we've written all of our code inside of main. But when we want to define a method, we do this outside. It doesn't matter if it's before or after as long as it's not inside of main. So to define our method, we write void, followed by the name, in our case printNumber, then we open and close 2 parentheses and then some curly brackets. And inside the curly brackets, we write what we want our method to do. In this case, we want to create a random number generator, get a random number from it, and write out the result. And that's it for defining our method. But if we run our program now, nothing would happen, because we also need to call our method. Calling a method means telling the code inside to execute.
So it's kind of like a function?
You can think of it like we're turning on the machine. To do this, we choose the place in our code where we would like to call the method. I would like this to run as soon as the program starts, so I'll do this on the first line inside of main. Here we write the name of the method, followed by some parentheses and a semicolon. And that's it. If we run our program now, it's going to see that we want to call the printNumber method, go inside of that method, execute all the code inside, and the result is that we get a random number. And we can of course choose to call this anywhere and as many times we'd like. I'm just going to call it a few times in a row here, and as you can see, we now get 3 random numbers by reusing the same piece of code. Now, some of you might have noticed that the method we've created here looks a whole lot like main. That's because main is also just a method. But it's special because we don't need to call it. Main is just always called right when the program starts. Also note that methods are often referred to as functions. In C#, these 2 terms are the same. So if you hear me saying function, don't freak out. It's the same. Alright, with that explanation, let's try creating some methods for ourselves. So let's imagine that we are creating a speed dating program where the user gets to meet a bunch of new people. But instead of meeting other humans, which would be pretty boring, let's have the user meet aliens instead. In fact, let's make a method that creates an alien with a random name and age and have it say hi to the user. So as we learned, to create a method, we go outside of mains. That would be down here. We're still within the class, but outside of main. And here we start by writing void. Then the name of our method, in my case, I'm going to call it meetAlien. I'm going to open and close some parentheses and some curly brackets. I'm also going to take this curly bracket here.
Hey Henrik, how's it going? We're just learning some C#. Yeah. Might be close to the end of the stream, but hope you're doing well. Also just doodling along. Here's where we got with our logo. Got the ambient occlusion shading done. Also changed our shirt color. Looking at it, I might saturate her hair a little bit. I'm not sure. But yeah, just doodling, hanging out.
And put it down here just like I do with if statements, just to make it easier to read. And that's it, we've actually now defined this function. But we should of course put some code inside to have it do something. I'm going to start out by creating a name and an age for our alien. And I would like to base this on random numbers. So first off, we need to create a random number generator. So we'll go random, we'll call our generator numberGen, and set it equal to a new random. Again, we've done this in previous videos. The syntax for this is still a bit weird, so just write after me. And now we can use this number generator to get random numbers. So if we want to create a
So you have to define random numberGen equals new random. Okay.
name for our alien, we can go string name, and we can set it equal to, and I want all my aliens to have a pretty weird name. I want them to be called something like x dash and then some kind of random number. So I'm going to do x dash and then plus numberGen dot next in order to create a random number between, and I'm just going to put in 10 and then 9,999. That should look like an alien name. Then for the age, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to create an integer called age and set it equal to a random number, so numberGen dot next between 10 and 500. Let's pretend these aliens get pretty old. And then we can print some of this information to the screen. So we can go console.writeLine, hi, I'm, and then the name. And let's do another one, console.writeLine, I'm, and then age, years old. And let's do a third one, oh, and I'm an alien. So I do admit that this method is a bit weird, but it should in fact work. The only thing that we need to make sure to do in this case is to add the static keyword in front of our method. Now, what do I mean by this? The only thing that we need to do to make this work is go to the top of our method here before the void and add the static keyword. As you can see, the main function has this as well. We'll talk about why in the next video where we're diving into classes, but for now just make sure to include it or you'll get an error in your code. And that's it for our function definition. Now we can call it wherever we'd like in our code. I'm just going to go to main here and try calling it here. So let's go ahead and meet an alien right when the program starts. And if we run this now, we can see that it says, hi, I'm X8203. I'm 154 years old. Oh, and I'm an alien. Pretty cool. And of course, what's happening in our code here is that we are going to our main function, which gets called right at the beginning of our program. It sees that we want to call meetAlien, so it goes down here into our meetAlien function and executes all of this code before going back and continuing down. So if we want, we can go ahead and call meetAlien some more times in order to meet some different aliens. And I'm just going to put some kind of spacing in between here. So console.writeLine, and I'm just going to put in a few dashes just to clearly separate the two aliens that we're meeting. And if we run this program again, we can see that we're now meeting two different aliens with a different age and a different name. Awesome! So that's the most basic example of a method. But where methods really start to shine is when we add parameters and return values. But what does that mean exactly? Well, so far our machine has been pretty closed around itself. We can run it, it does some things, and that's pretty much it. But imagine if we were able to give the machine some input when we run it that it can then use. A good example of this is if we want to create a method that squares a number. In this case, we probably want to be able to input a number that the machine should then square. This is called a parameter, and it's pretty simple to write. When defining our method, we go inside of the parentheses and write the type. In our case, that is an integer, followed by the name of the parameter. I'm just going to call this number. Then, inside the curly brackets, we can use this as any other variable. In this case, I'm going to calculate the result by multiplying the number with itself. So we've now created a machine that takes in an integer as a parameter. When we then call the method and run the machine, we just pass in whatever number we'd like it to use. Of course, it would be cool if the machine could also spit out the result. We call this a return value. In our case, we would like to return the result of our calculation, which is an integer. To do this, we replace void, which means that we don't want to return anything, with int. Then, inside the curly brackets, when we've done everything we wanted to do, we can end the method by writing return, followed by the value we would like to output. In our case, that is the result. And this allows us, when calling the method, to get a value back. And we can of course store this in another variable and use it for whatever we'd like. So we're creating a machine called square that takes in an integer as a parameter, squares it, and outputs the result. Let's have some fun with this in VS Code. So let's say that we wanted to create a method that multiplies two numbers. Well, in this case, we would again go outside of main here, and we would type void to create a method. We'd give it the name, which is something like multiply. Open and close the parentheses and the curly brackets. And if we want this method to multiply two numbers, we need a way to input the two numbers that we would like. So we'll add these as parameters. To do this, we go inside of our parentheses, and here we first put the type of what we want to input. So in this case, that would be an integer. And I'm just going to call it num1 for number 1. And the cool thing is that we can actually allow ourselves to input more than one value. So if I just write a comma here, we can create another parameter. So this is going to be an integer as well, and I'm going to call it number 2. There we go. And now we can actually do things with these two numbers inside of our method. So in this case, we probably want to calculate the result and store it in a variable. So let's create an integer called result and set it equal to number 1 multiplied with number 2. It's actually that easy. And if we want, we could of course just print out the result. So we could do console.writeLine. The result is, and then result. There we go. Of course, just like we did earlier, we need to add the static keyword in front of our method here. For now, you need to do this to all of your methods. Again, we'll talk about why in the next video. And with that, we have defined our function. And so we can go up to main here and call it. So I'm going to type in multiply. And then inside of the parentheses, we can put in a few numbers. I'm going to put in the number 3 and 8. I'm also going to do one with 7 and 13. And let's do one with 11 and 5. Cool. And if we now run this, we can see that the result of 3 times 8 is 24. The result of 7 times 13 is 91. And the result of 11 times 5 is 55. Awesome. But right now we're just displaying the result in the console. What if we wanted to multiply two numbers and then use the result to do something? Perhaps we could check if the result is an even number or an uneven number. So to do this, we add a return value. I'm just going to get rid of some of the multiply function calls here. And down here, instead of writing a void, which means, again, return nothing, we write the type of the number that we want to return. In our case, that's an integer, because we want to return the result variable. Then, instead of printing this directly to the console, let's simply write return result and then a semicolon. And now up here where we call the multiply function, we can now store this result in a variable. So we can create some kind of integer, we can call it result, and set it equal to whatever is outputted from a multiply function. And please note that while I'm giving the same name to this variable and this one, you don't have to. You could easily call this one answer or anything else that you would like. I just think it makes sense to call it result. And now we can do things with this, so we can print it out, console.writeLine, the result is, and then the result. And we can check if it's an even number. So we can go if result. And a pretty cool way to check if a number is even or not is to divide by 2 and see if it adds up. So just to give an example of this, if we divide 2 by 2, that gives a whole number. And so 2 is an even number. The same thing happens if we divide, say, 8 by 2. That is going to be 4, again, a whole number, and so that number is even. However, if we divide, say, 3 by 2, this is going to give 1.5. This means that there is a remainder to this division, and we're getting a decimal number. So this is uneven. And the same thing with 5 and so on. Again, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. This is also uneven. So we can use this to check if a number is even or not by checking if the remainder of a division is 0. So in this case, the remainder is definitely 0. The same thing here, but if we divide 3 by 2, the remainder is 0.5. And the same thing if we divide 5 by 2, the remainder is also 0.5. To do this in C#, we use the modulus operator, or the percentage sign.
Modulus.
So here we're saying if we divide the result by 2, what is the remainder? And we need that remainder to be equal to 0 in order for the number to be even. So if that is the case, if this is true, if the remainder of the division is 0, then the number is even, and so we can go console.writeLine result is an even number. If not, so else, then the number is uneven. So console.writeLine result is an uneven number. And there we go. If we now run this, we can see that the result of 3 times 8 is 24. That's correct. And 24 is indeed an even number. And if we do this again with some other number, let's say 3 times 3, it says here the result is 9, and 9 is an uneven number. Awesome. So that's the perfect example of how we can create a function that takes in some input, in our case 2 numbers here, does something with it, and returns a result. We can simply display it, or we can do different things depending on the result. Awesome. Now for this week's challenge, I want you to create a method that can count the number of words in a sentence. To do this, the method must take in a string, the sentence, figure out how many words are in that
Hey, Pika Matev. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream.
sentence and return that number as an integer. So as you can see, my program here asks the user to enter a sentence. I'm just going to put in I love programming. I'm going to hit enter, and it now says that there are 3 words in that sentence. And indeed there is. I love programming. Awesome. Now to do this, we need to know how to get the word count. And we can do that using the .split method. As you can see, I have an example string here. And the split method is going to split this string in 2 in all places that has a specific character. So if I go example.split, I can then open and close some parentheses and a semicolon. And then inside here, we can put 2 apostrophes. And this allows us to input a character. In our case, we want to split every time there is a space. So I'm just going to put a space here. Now what this effectively does is divide our one string here into an array of strings. In this case, it would be an array of 3 items, I, love, and programming. And because of that, we can simply use the .length to get the number of elements inside the array. And that should be your word count. So good luck, and as always, my solution is available on the Brackeys forum. There's of course a link for that in the description. That's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Also, don't forget to check out Millinode. Again, it's free and a great way to organize your projects and share ideas with friends. To get started, simply click the link in the description. On that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks to all the awesome Patreon supporters who donated in July, and a special thanks to Dante Sam, Lost of Violence Love Forever, Nifdilius, Scott McKee, Face Amerify, Replica Studios.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Pika, Jesse, I wanted to ask a question. Why do you do these red lines? What is their purpose? Just to differentiate. It doesn't have to be red. This could be literally any color. I could make this purple for all I care. It's just because oh, that didn't work. It's just because this sketch that I'm doing here, this one, this was my first draft, so there's no real like structure or anything. I was just kind of having fun, just kind of doodling, and then I lowered the opacity on that, and then over the top of it, what this red line stuff is just me figuring out the construction. So I'm turning her into 3D shapes and like putting in the main volumes like the rib cage, the hips, and then figuring out the cylinders for her legs and stuff like that. And you can also see it doesn't quite follow the blue line either. This is a whole new drawing. So it's me just figuring out, I'm putting more construction on the drawing by doing this, is what I'm trying to do, is like, just figure out what it looks like in 3D perspective. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, it doesn't have to be red line. It's just iterative drawing. It's just me drawing the same thing again, but with a different objective of making it into a 3D shape. Because that's what drawing is. You're figuring out 3D shapes. Especially for animation. Yeah. If you're not familiar with like making things into 3D, I definitely suggest like drawing a bunch of cubes, drawing a bunch of cylinders, stuff like that. Doing like this kind of exercise where you draw a blob and then put like a wireframe over it can really help. Like it helps you figure out the volume of things. Like just put in like dividing lines and then, you know, figure out what these things look like in 3D space. Stuff like that can help a lot. Same sort of thing. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for me, you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks for all the follows, all the subs. I really appreciate it. Again, you can follow me on twitch.tv/JesseJJones. Tersey, thank you for the host. Always appreciated. Does no good. I'll have to look into my host alerts. I'm not sure why that's not showing up. But yeah. Thanks to all these Patreon supporters, all the people who hosted the channel, all the subscribers. I really appreciate it. Love you guys. Let's see who we can pass the love on to. Let's see who we can raid. At the end of the stream, we like to pass on the love. We like to pass on the love to another streamer. So let's see who a good stream would be. There's a lot of good artists online right now. Let's see. We haven't raided Google Doodle in a while. I've been wanting to raid their stream for a while. There's also Luna Bunny, there's 64 Bits Animation. There's lots of good people online. Yeah, let's raid Google Doodle. We haven't raided Google in a long time. There's also Eric Draws, another talented person. Goob! Let's do it. Alright, so I'll type in /raid, Google Doodle. And we're off. I'll see you guys over there. Give Goob lots of follows, lots of love. And yeah, I'll see you guys over there. Take it easy. Love ya. Bye-bye.